All right, my goodness, let's try to see if I can get this thing underway. I've not been having some luck getting this recording started this time. Hello to you, friends and foes alike, fans of Ashes of Creation, one and all. It's been a minute. It's good to see you all, and to anybody tuning into this, I very much appreciate you being here. Mox and I realize we suck, and we suck royally. This time of year, I don't know what it is about April, or at least January, February, and March. We tend to get busy. And recording just becomes a secondary thing for us, and so we're going to repent of our sins and try to be a little bit more on the ball and do some more stuff. So that's what we're going to do. Ash's April live stream happened. I got to tune in and see all of that and enjoyed myself immensely, and I thought that this was about as good an opportunity as any to tune in and actually provide some commentary on what we saw. Everybody's already covered this. If you've been following other content creators, you already know what's going on. It's no big deal. So I'll summarize this myself, and we'll provide some thoughts on my own, and we'll see what we can accomplish here. If you care what Disparate Worlds thinks, this is your place to go. Right. So the April live stream, Stephen was joined by, let me get this right, Keenan, who is an engineer, Trad, who is a senior designer, and John, a senior visual effects artist, to show off some really the Alpha 2 ready Mage, and at least what is going to be in Alpha 2. You have really, it was all about the skills. That was what mattered. What they call a quote-unquote kit, which is their version for, or at least their term for, what we'd call a build or a build out, right? A loadout of skills. So they had a few skills on the skill bar: lightning and ice. There was no fire in this build. And we're showcasing for us how those skills tend to work together in order to apply stacks and to create procs and all of those kinds of things, and then how those create opportunities then for a group to take advantage of, someone else in the group, right? One of the notable things was a very dialed back visual kind of look. We've seen a lot of bloom and brightness from magical effects before. In an elementalist like this, you're obviously seeing a lot of still flashy things, but maybe a tone down, which I think was a pretty significant piece of feedback that they had received in showcases before, right? So what they're asking for is really, now that they're in phase 2, and by the way, phase 1 is where they just basically try things out, experiment with things, see what they like, and figure things out, and it's largely highly experimental and very fast, right? A lot of quick development, trying things out, trying to get to where they like what they see. And then when they do like what they see, they enter what they call phase 2, where they show it to the community and say, okay, community, we'd love your feedback on this, right? And so that's largely why they were able to showcase this, tell us about it, and then ask for feedback. So Keenan in particular is interested in a number of things. If you are on the forums, if you want to tune in and talk on the video and leave some comments, down below you'll find all of the links to do that. They want to know about the mobility, right? Obviously the slower mobility, you're still able to move some when you're casting, but how does that look and how does that feel? Transition between spells, is moving between the spells look like it's fun play, right? Or in the cooldowns as well, right? Does that seem clunky, or does it work? And then the complexity of the kit, is it too much complexity associated with this, or is it too little and maybe needs more, right? So that's the feedback that they're looking to get. As far as the skills themselves, I'm not sure that I have seen an elemental mage in any game that is out of the ordinary compared to anything. I think the tried and true kind of skill set is what it is, right? So as far as we've been seeing here, like what's on screen right now is one of the skills. Around his body is that bubble, right? They call it shell. Mox and I saw this as a skill for the Sage, for instance, in Star Wars The Old Republic, which just does a damage absorbing shell, a good defensive there. Blink, which he showed once or twice, moving between right there, in fact, moving to close gaps or to open gaps. Some utility there. Sleep, which is an AoE crowd control or CC skill. And then, in my opinion, nothing really different from what you would expect to see in a mage kit anywhere, right? Ball lightning. I've seen that. That was a ye olde Diablo 2 skill, right, that I used to play plenty. Blizzard, we've all seen Blizzard, where you cast a large AoE around you. Cone of Cold, you showed a number of times where there's maybe 20 degrees, 25 degrees of shards that come out of the ground. Let's see here. Electrical Strike, which is just a strike from the heavens, I believe. Frost Bolt, Chain Lightning. We've all seen that. You know, I don't think that there was much that was actually really remarkable about the slate of skills that they showed. What was remarkable was one or two of the skills where you had, for instance, one that was called Elemental Empowerment. So, and this is really what I think is really the thing that they're trying to showcase here, is how you can use ice skills, for instance, to build up stacks of what they call chilled. And you use one skill, it may apply 2 stacks of chilled, but then that skill goes on cooldown. And what are you going to use then? Well, yeah, you can use other frost skills to apply that chilled, but really you need to then use Elemental Empowerment, which is just more stacks that you can throw of whatever elemental skill that you just used. So imagine it if you throw fire last, then it'll be fire. If you use it and you throw ice, right, then it'll throw ice from there. But it allows you to build up those stacks. So where you can get whatever mob or other person that you're fighting in maybe in PvP type of environment to 10 stacks. Once you get 10 stacks of chill, there's a frozen effect that starts on them, which is an opportunity for either you using another skill or for another class maybe to jump in and do something to them that takes advantage of that then applies a shattered effect on them. As to what exactly the ins and outs of those skills are, I wasn't dug into too much, although they did describe it. I'll link below down to whatever I can find, and skill related things that will be pertinent there. Another thing that was pretty cool was looking at the electrical effects and the way that there's little hooks all over the world, that as the ball lightning, for instance, moves over it, that electric kind of effect sticks, and the way that lightning would arc around things, yeah. An example that's going to happen on the screen, right? He's about to throw a ball lightning right now, and there you see it, right? It's sticking to the ground, and then he blinks through it. But if you look back at it, oddly enough, that electric effect isn't there. So I don't know if that needs to be reported or something. I know that at least in this little piece it wasn't there, but the rest of the time it was looking pretty good. The long cast of an electrical charge up, for instance, looked really great around the character. So very cool there. And then Arcane Volley was the last one, which is just kind of a non elemental aligned skill, just you throwing arcane, whatever that is, right? To do damage, which is kind of, imagine, probably like a bread and butter type of skill, highly spammable, that kind of a thing. So again, not much that in my opinion was remarkable about the skills, except really for the art in the electrical or the lightning type of stuff. I'm not sure I was very impressed with the way that the ice is looking. It looks too blue and a little bit cartoony to me. That would be the feedback that I would just, but I mean, at this point, it's a lot of work they have to go back and get. But the art style of the Blizzard just looks too snowflake shapey to me. I don't know. A little, maybe something that doesn't really fit this art style of this game, but maybe I would expect to see it in World of Warcraft, where there's a little bit more cartoony kind of a look to things. So one other cool thing that was really cool and worth mentioning was a part of this where he targeted a creature and then moved behind the rock and was able to get lightning to arc around the rock. That's really cool, and I think it is going to be very challenging. Line of sight has been a long tried and true PvP method, especially where if you can put something between you have a minute to breathe, you can get away, all of those kinds of things. I'm not sure if that's like a mage only type of thing, or that maybe an archer can use it if you're a ranger, but to the arcing of projectiles around rocks, very interesting. I think that's going to change some big dynamics in the world of PvP. So the only other thing I can think of really that was remarkable to me, I mean, feel free to go back to the video and see the Q&A section, but it was really guilds and alliances. Another note about, smaller guilds having bonuses that are available to them that larger guilds do not, because of course larger guilds have more people and it makes being in a smaller guild a little bit more desirable. There may be some encounters in the world where a larger guild needs to ally with a smaller guild because the encounter requires the numbers of a larger guild, but the bonuses of a smaller guild, right? So if you're a guild that's far enough in the guild development track, you can probably unlock the ability to start alliances and then build alliances with guilds that are like-minded or that you get along with, those kinds of things. So pretty cool discussion there. Again, I'll link everything down below that I can that I think was pertinent. If you want to go check the wiki on skills, etc., feel free to do that, and the mage and stuff. Definitely, I thought a good showcase. Appreciate the deep dive on these skills, and so we'll leave it there. Again, you'll see more of Mox and I as we get our act together here over the course of this month. We'll try to do another something here soon. So stay tuned. Disparate Worlds is coming back, baby. We'll see you guys soon.